Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, fellow friends, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know anything about carbon? Well, if you don't, or maybe even if you do, that's what this channel is for. Welcome to Carbon Forum, where we together can learn and even discuss more about our environment, in it, carbon. So, let's strive to save our planet together now, shall we?
Why do we need these so-called tools for any carbon project development?
So blockchain is the fundamental of system where we can claim that the system is transparent.
Yourself, or you're actually adapting from a blockchain provider or whatever it is called?
So the development of the blockchain is open source anyway. Anybody can learn, anybody can contributing to the projects. And
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, oh yes. We are with the Carbon Forum again, and the carbonizers, carbon activists, carbon friends all over the world. Welcome back to another episode of Carbon Forum. With me, Poempida, Hidayayulloh, as always. Today, it's going to be very interesting because we're going to discuss something different, because in the past we talked a lot of things related to policies and then human resources. Now we will be focusing ourselves in discussing about blockchain and also digital MRV. MRV means measurement, reporting, and validation for carbon project development, of course. And with me, there's already somebody who's an expert in IT. He's from the company called ROXI, Rantai Oxygen Indonesia, and his name is Gungun Febrianza. Welcome, Pak Gungun. How are you?
thank you, Pak Pompi, for having me here.
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah. So, what is your role in ROXI? Can you explain?
Yes. Now I have been assigned as Chief Innovation Officer.
Innovation. Yeah?
Innovation Officer.
Wow. So you know how to innovate, definitely.
Yes.
And okay, tell me about blockchains and digital MRV. Why do we need these so-called tools for any carbon project development?
Yeah. Okay. If we look to the markets, and there is a lot of update right now, like carbon core principle from the ICPCM, and we need to make like high quality carbon projects. So blockchain is the fundamental of system where we can claim that the system is transparent.
Okay.
Yes.
So blockchains will guarantee the transparency of any project.
Yes,
That's the
correct.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because if we store the data in the centralized system, there is a problem there. For example, in the centralized system, there is human error, and then there is like human antagonists. They can cheating on the system.
Yeah.
And changing the data, and then we can claim there is high integrity or transparency if you store the data using centralized system.
Yeah. So you're saying that blockchains will mitigate the risk of so-called super users to abuse their powers, right?
Yes.
Because normally when you have a database, the super users can always access and then change things accordingly to his or her wishes, right?
Yeah, correct.
So instead of that, the blockchains will prohibit that to happen. Is that right?
Yes.
If I understand it, blockchain is actually a method on encryption, right? One of the method of encryption based on a sequential sort of scheme.
Yes.
Like using the time stamp and this, activity stamp also, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So one of the characteristic of the blockchain is tamper evidence.
Okay.
Yep. If someone try to manipulate the data
Mhm.
within the blockchain,
Mhm.
we can immediately
Recognize it or
yes,
identify it.
yeah, recognize there is manipulation happen
Oh, okay.
actually. So
Okay, but this blockchain technology, as far as I'm concerned, Indonesia hasn't got it yet, right? I mean, we don't have it yet, right?
it's not
Do you develop yourself, or you actually adapting from
okay.
blockchain provider or whatever it
Yeah,
is called?
so
Yeah.
the development of the blockchain is open source anyway.
Uh-huh.
Anybody can learn, anybody can contributing to the
Okay.
projects,
Mhm.
and it's built by the society.
Yep.
And we can use existing blockchain
Mhm.
and implement on our own projects. It's
Yep.
not necessary to create our own.
Yep.
Anyway, if there is exists a powerful and industrial strength blockchain in the market, why we need to create by ourselves? I
Okay.
think it's the better way, the efficient way, if we can use the good blockchain protocol for carbon project development.
Good. Right. So the transparency is there. It means that the data derived from blockchain sort of process things, then it will be the integrity will be there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And okay, now we're shifting a little bit into the digital MRV. I mean, people are crazy about Volu nowadays,
Yep.
and they want to sort of develop the carbon project based on the Volu, yeah,
Yep.
NBS, nature-based solution.
Nature-based solution.
And what can you assist these people who wants to sort of develop carbon project based on Volu?
Okay. So it's always every time if you want to create like a carbon project development, we will select the carbon project, the project type, I mean ARR or anything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we will try conduct a feasibility study,
Okay.
and then there is PDD development,
Yeah.
and on the PDD we need
Locally, we call it DRAM and drum.
yeah, in
DRAM.
Indonesian. Yeah. In the PDD, we need to create like how we will monitor the projects before it gets validated by the auditor.
I see. Okay.
And it will be good if we can add the MRP into the monitoring strategy, like implementing how we will monitor the quality of the forest monitoring system in the carbon project development, like adding aerial and terrestrial monitoring system using LiDAR, remote sensing satellite,
Okay.
and then
So you can be connected to those equipments, yeah?
yes,
The satellites
yeah,
and all, yeah?
and then the integrity of the data, and then the granularity of the data is much more detailed, close to tier 3. So it can brings a value to the market. I mean, the market can validate by themselves
Oh,
if they want to see the projects, the activity year by years, and that will be good for the market.
I see. But okay, what sort of data you want to sort of gather from these from the forest, basically,
Yeah.
to enable the project development to earn this sort of recognition?
Okay, so because the market now is not only talk about the carbon credits but also the biodiversity credits.
Biodiversity, that's the word. Okay.
Yeah. So we need to gather the data,
Yeah.
the plant health and the soil characteristics,
Okay.
and then the trees,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the biodiversity data.
Yeah.
And
Animals and all the things
yes,
within
animal.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of approach to monitor. In biodiversity, for example, there's DNA barcoding.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much more better than population genetics.
Right.
And then there's also integrating cognitive computing, like the IoT system
Okay.
that will connect into our dashboard, so we can monitoring the hotspot and then the pattern of the animal.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. But you're saying about DNA sort of identification. Uh, what sort of sensor you need to achieve that kind of things?
For DNA barcoding.
Uh,
I think
so you actually take the animals and then sort of take the DNA samples, or can you actually do remotely?
for DNA barcoding, we need to ground truth monitoring
Oh,
on
straight
the
away, yeah.
in the
Oh.
areas, and then we will analyzing the
Okay.
sample from the place.
And then you put the barcodes within it that can actually identify the subjects, or
Yep, the market will make it become standard in the future, and then there's also sensors, also data,
okay.
sensors data that will make it more comprehend for the monitoring system for forest and the biodiversity.
Right. Well, tell me more about at which stage now you are in this kind of activities. What I'm saying is, have you done a lot of implementation, or did you just sort of do a piloting project, or have you even managed to do the whole project development until it's actually claiming the carbon credit?
Yes, that's the good things is in Melkor Group Indonesia we have four subsidiary company which is focused on carbon project development, Muller Carbon Capital, and then there is also Perisai Alam Sejahtera, which is social forestry,
Yep.
and then there is ROXI, which will focus on the technology. So what we have is the concession, and then we can monitor using ROXI the technology, because if we depends too much on the foreign, it's really expensive. So we need
Yeah.
to do by ourselves,
Right.
piloting by ourselves in the field.
Okay, but merely you are just a system integrator, right? You don't actually produce the device yourself.
Yes, I mean the
Yeah,
device.
basically, you're buying a lot of equipments and then you just integrate them into
Correct.
one system, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Now, okay, there are a lot of carbon developments in other sectors also. Like, for example, in the transportations and also in energy. How would you, I mean, have you actually been sort of connected to these sectors at all to implement this the MRV sort of concept?
Okay, we are aware there is 170 carbon credit types.
Yeah.
It's from the report from ecosystem marketplaces,
Yeah.
and because we have the capacity in the IoT and sensors, we can also jumping into other areas like energy, biochar.
Okay, using the same approach.
Yep, because the methodology is there exists. We just need to understand how it works.
The business process, yeah.
Yes, and then for example for EV charging infrastructure.
So, but you're going to use different kind of sensor and measurement equipment, right?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that somebody is doing it, and because I mean, me and also my association would really appreciate this kind of endeavor, because our vision and our goal is actually to socialize high integrity of carbon credits. So hopefully, with your support, we can actually achieve it. So, are you a member of our association yet?
Of course, I
Okay,
would be
that's
happy
good.
if I can share
Yeah.
to the association.
So the
Yeah.
next time we will have a lot of discussion and seminar related to this technology, and I hope that you can be one of the speakers there.
I will
And
be
then
happy.
please share things that. I mean, this is very interesting anyway. I mean, for me, I'm a very technological sort of guy anyway, and I'm very interested in seeing this to realize and implement it as soon as possible rather than later.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the blockchain mechanism is actually they're using a lot of token that you need to purchase from abroad, right? Whereas I guess your approach is more local, right? or you still need to do so?
We are still considering to develop a token. I
Mhm.
mean, for fundraising,
Yeah.
because there's pros and cons anyway.
Mm.
Because the characteristic of um, a token on the blockchain is borderless. I mean,
That's the thing.
yeah, everybody can jump in into our system and
Mhm.
then crash the market
Yeah.
because they have a
Not
lot of
only that, because we have these regulations in Indonesia related to the privacy, data privacy sort of thing, and a lot of government data needs to be protected, and server must be within the Indonesia region, right?
correct.
So with that kind of schemes, would that be a problem at all for these arrangement? I mean, are we actually surpassing these legal issues on the law? Or
I think for us it will bring high risk in the future if we enforce to create the token, and then we need to take a look also to the regulation because we want to comply.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So make sure, because that's probably one of the issue that all this, not only the issue on blockchain or anything, but all
Yeah.
the IT providers normally they need to sort of look at this
Yeah.
issue at the moment.
But I believe the right implementation blockchain in the carbon project development is just to store the data.
Okay,
That's it.
to encrypt it, right?
Yes,
To make
and
sure that the data is well protected, and the what you call the transparency is there, right?
yes,
Okay. Okay, that's good. But the data itself should be within the Indonesia regions.
correct.
It's not actually taken away somewhere.
Actually, in
Because
the
once you actually
yeah,
tokenize it, I would say to tokenize it, then that's it. The data is in Indonesia, right?
no, if we tokenize system, if we store the data into the blockchain, it's not actually
It's not.
stored in Indonesia.
Oh,
It's distributed to a lot of computer around the world.
okay.
So because in the nature itself, a blockchain is censorship resistant.
Hmm.
No one can regulate crypto or blockchain.
Yeah, that's probably our government wouldn't like it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Too transparent. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And some of the people might think differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I like transparency. I like the integrity, and also I like the security. Also, right? So it's
Yeah.
one of the things that I
Yeah,
would
I
like
think
to see.
it's part of the ESG. I mean, if we can put a blockchain and then it increase the ESG value, which will increase the investment
Yeah.
in some industry. So
But please remember that the governance is there, right? The issue on governance is there.
yeah,
And when you actually surpassing the law, that would be reducing a little bit the value of the ESG, actually.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We are not actually, I mean, I'm just raising issues that some other people might not think of.
Yeah.
So better in the futures, we will be careful, and we look at this problem closely.
Yep.
Might as well we change the law. Yeah.
Yep.
So it will allow you to use blockchains without any hurdles whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We talk about a lot of things related to uh, the MRV blockchains, and perhaps you have any sort of expectation from the government on this kind of activities.
I think support in the regulation itself,
Okay.
because in the private sector there's a lot of innovation and opportunities. If the government support, that
Okay.
would be good for a lot of youth that
Okay.
has a big sense and responsibility for the environment, not only for business,
Yeah.
but also we care also with our country and our planet anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then perhaps you want to address a few things to the audience with your own words, please, 1 or 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. For the youth, there's a lot of big opportunities right now in the green job transition. I think it's the right time for you to learn about climate science and climate technology. That will be good for the youth future.
Thank you, Pak Gungun, for joining us. It was a great pleasure to discuss these very interesting topics related to blockchain and the MRV. And definitely, we will be inviting you again in futures, and
Thank you so much.
maybe you can update us with your sort of
We'll be happy.
development. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, decarbonizers, carbon activists, carbon friends all over the world. That was Mr. Gungun Febrianza from the ROXI, Rantai Oxygen Indonesia. And uh, I remind you that the integrity and the transparency on the carbon project is very important. So make sure that you are actually using this implementation on blockchain and the MRV correctly. Otherwise, then pursuing carbon development is not worth anything at all. So that was our discussion, very interesting, and we look forward to see you again in the future. And please join us in another episode of Carbon Forum with me, Poempida Hidayayulloh. Until then, goodbye for now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.